We meet at a time when artificial intelligence is no longer a futuristic concept. It is present reality that is fundamentally reshaping how we teach, how students learn, how research is conducted, and how institutions are functioning and operating. From personalized learning pathways and data-driven decision-making to intelligent research tools and administrative efficiency, AI is redefining the very architecture of the higher education. However, this transformation is not just about technology. It is about mindsets, ethics, inclusivity, and readiness. The key question before academia today is not whether to adopt AI, but how to integrate it responsibly, so that we build learners who are not only technologically skilled, but also critical thinkers, problem solvers, and ethical leaders. At IILM University, we strongly believe that universities must act as innovation ecosystems where interdisciplinary learning, industry collaborations, and emerging technologies like AI come together to prepare students for an uncertain yet opportunity-rich future. This session reflects that commitment. Today's discussion brings together diverse perspectives to explore how institutions can evolve, how faculty can be empowered, and how learners can be made truly future-ready in the age of AI. I'm confident that the insights shared here will spark meaningful dialogues and actionable ideas. Thank you all for being part of this important conversation. We have a galaxy of rich speakers who are here present amidst us. I will briefly introduce all of them to you. We have Professor Ashish Sena with us. He is a globally recognized thought leader in digital transformation, AI disruption, and higher education. He serves as Professor of Marketing at the University of Queensland and visiting Professor in Executive Education Research Fellow at Indian School of Business, where his work bridges technology, strategy, and organization innovation. He is also the author of Winning in the Age of AI Disruption and a frequent speaker on AI-enabled transformation in academia and industry. Welcome, sir. We have with us Dr. Pavan Duggal. He is a leading Supreme Court advocate and a globally recognized authority on artificial intelligence law, cyber law, and emerging technologies. With over 3 decades of experience, he has been at the forefront of shaping legal frameworks governing AI data protection, cybersecurity, and digital transformations. He is actively advising government, institution, and organization on responsible and ethical adoption of AI. Dr. Duggal is a prolific author, international speaker, and thought leader, widely acknowledged for pioneering legal discourse on AI regulation, digital transformation, and future of technology-driven societies. We welcome you, sir. Another prolific speaker is Mr. J. Krishnan. He is an experienced entrepreneur, early stage investor, and author with deep expertise in deep tech ecosystem, innovation, and AI-driven growth. As a partner at Beyond Next Venture Inc., he has helped build and scale technology startups with a focus on transformative digital solutions. Mr. Jay is passionate about intersection of artificial intelligence and education, advocating for responsible, inclusive adoption that empowers learners and educators alike. His insights on AI's role in reshaping skilling, human capital development, and future workforce readiness make him a valued voice at forums like India AI Impact Summit. We welcome you, Mr. Jay. We have with us Dr. Monish Sagarwal. He is a distinguished technology leader and academic administrator with deep expertise at intersection of artificial intelligence, engineering, and higher education. He is associated with IILM University, where he plays a key role in driving innovation-led academic initiatives and strengthening industry-academia collaboration. With extensive experience as CEO, Director of Engineering, and Executive Director, he brings strong strategic and operational insights into AI adoption and digital transformation. We welcome you, sir. We have with us Mr. Rohit Bansal. Mr. Rohit Bansal is a distinguished corporate leader and communication strategist. He is a group head of corporate communication at Reliance Industries Limited, where he shapes media, reputation, and strategic communication for one of India's largest conglomerate. He is also a distinguished fellow at Observer Research Foundation, contributing to national policy discourse. Mr. Rohit is actively engaged with AI and technology leadership, participating in initiatives like AI for a Billion and supporting AI adoption efforts such as Reliance Partnership to expand AI access across India. Earlier, he co-founded Snapdeal and Titan Capital and remains a mentor and influencer in business and tech communities, actively engaging all. Thank you so much, sir. We welcome you here. Now, I request Mr. Rohit Bansalji to kindly take it forward as a moderator of the session. Thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you very much. We were to do this in 55 minutes, out of which the good or the bad news is 15 are over. So we just have 40 minutes in front of me, and I won't let the organizer down by spilling over and the next session or whatever coming in the way. Long and short is I have never been surrounded by so much of natural intelligence next to me, and to discuss artificial intelligence at that. So I'm sure some of you would be interested in keeping things very simple and very cogent, because each one of them can speak for the next 40 minutes and hold us in absolute spell. So let me start with you, Professor Ashish Sinha. Where is your best-selling book? I don't see it. Okay, so now that you haven't bought the book, now tell us very specifically, who are students here? Could you have a show of hands here? Who are students here? Right at the back. What are you doing at the back? You should be in the front. Anyhow, think if it's interesting enough to come here, you might, gain from Ashish's points of view. Likewise, who are educators here, just to get a sense of the house? Educators, okay. So here's Ashish Sinha. Please tell us, what is one advice you will give to students at the back and educators in front? And then we'll move this.
Sure. So I guess we were having this conversation a couple of minutes back. We are, what I would say, in the vortex of AI disruption. And the vortex of AI disruption means that there's going to be massive changes in very short periods of time. So that means whatever is your competitive advantage today might only last for the next 3 to 6 months before something new and different comes. So for educational institutions, if you don't change, well, it's an existential risk. If you don't change, you will eventually die. For students, it means...
Yeah, those students out there, because...
For students, what it means is that you have to adapt. So the most critical, what you need to do for certain is to adapt, be highly agile, and learn as much as you can, right? So the next couple of years is going to be highly disruptive, but you have to spend this time. One skill, right, would be adapt and be agile.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. We request you for a group photograph first, because they would like to give you the framed picture of today's event. Okay. So I'm extremely sorry for the disruption.
No, it's fine. It's just that you have to give us 5 minutes more.
Extra. Absolutely. Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much for the kindness.
You just use AI to make a picture.
Okay. Sorry, just give me 1 minute.
Okay, now that we have got 4.5 minutes extra. Okay, now, so Ashish, you told us, and today I'll call you Ashish. I won't call you Professor and Ashish Sinha Saab. So you said you have to be agile and all of it. Now, all students know it. They know that they have to be agile. They know that education institutions are under threat, those who don't reboot. So what specific stuff? I mean, people are using AI anyway. Anyone who doesn't use AI here in this room, ladies and gentlemen? The honest people, right?
Yeah.
So people are using AI, if that's what you mean by adaptive.
No, I think you need to understand. So it is very easy to outsource the thinking part of it, the writing part, to artificial intelligence, which is what I know, many of us, including students and educators, are doing. But the ability, the loss of the ability to think would be by far one of the worst things that you can do. Because, believe it or not, a lot of studies are showing that those of us who overuse artificial intelligence, including things like writing, that if, for instance, if you're having issues with how do you put together, a particular sentence, and it's very easy for you to get that help, your reliance on that becomes too high. So that means you're outsourcing the whole thinking process, whether it is, to do with putting together an essay or solving a math problem. And over a period of time, your reliance increases. So by agile, I mean is having the ability to critically analyze a particular context or a situation and use it to your advantage. There's absolutely no doubt about that you have to use it, because that's what industry is expecting today. But it's how human and AI can come together. So it's not like you're outsourcing the whole process, but maybe towards the end, refining it.
Okay, so adapt, but for the first time, I'm not going to protest decrease reliance, as he put it. I must say that this is a very objectionable point, but we get the sense. Okay, so here's the point now. Next, IILM, first of all, thank you for putting this together, and to the principals here, seated here. We're very happy to have you here. Now, how are you as an institution responding, if at all, to what Ashish just said? How are you different in the new AI age, Professor?
Actually, whatever we were teaching till, say, yesterday or last year, we have to change that approach. And the approach that we are adopting now is, we are dividing our, say, courses or syllabi into 6 parts. The first 5 parts are the same we were teaching earlier. But the 6th part is, we are telling them what you have learned in the first 5 parts, you have to try to do it through AI. For example, I give you an example. There is Python programming language, all of you are aware, you have to learn Python. So suppose I am teaching you Python, you understand the Python, now you use the artificial intelligence applications to generate, like Claude, to generate the code. And once you have generated the code, you can use the code. Now you could argue that why not straight away use Claude? But the point is, if you do not know what code it will generate, then how you will put together, say, 20 or 40 snippets of code together to make the application work to solve a critical problem. So you have to learn what you were learning before, but the thing is, you must improve your productivity. What I think about AI is, it is just a productivity enhancement tool. It will not take away your jobs, but it will take away the jobs of those who do not know AI. So you have to use AI as a productivity tool. You can, like coding has been done for the last 20 years. If you are a good coder, you definitely get a good job, or you set up your own company. It will not happen anymore. You have to have the ability to solve the critical problems, and you have to use the AI to put together that code. That is more important. So every course that we are teaching, we have embedded this. Like if we are teaching you databases, same. We have taught you the database, now we'll teach you how to create the entire database. Like what you were doing in 30 days, we are trying to bring that down to, say, 3 days.
So quick question before I turn to my left. It's for reason that you are on my right side. Now, question is, you are in computer sciences area, but is this model actually being adopted in IILMs as an instant case, in humanities and other courses as well, or is it still to be adapted?
No, from the coming semester, that is new academic session, we are going to adopt it across the board. Because the expectation of the industry is such. We are regularly having, interviews being conducted. So, and the answer to that is, majority of the companies, humans are not conducting interviews. They have given it to bots. So we have also now taken a subscription, and we are also giving our students practice how to give an interview to a bot.
So how about giving practice to your teachers? What do they really know outside of the computer science department on these matters? And how do you enhance it?
Like we have put together around 30 academies with all the who's and who of technology. So we are enabling our faculty members to be AI ready and getting them certified. Because ultimately they are the ones who have to go in the classroom and get it executed. So it is all train the trainer model. So it is a cycle. We are getting the faculty ready to execute this plan. Because if we do not do it, I think it's difficult to move forward coming from the next academic
So,
session.
ladies and gentlemen, 2 takeaways already. One, Ashish talks about, among many other things he can, on the students and the need to adapt and to be responsive to the issue. And of course, the professor has pointed out to how it's not just as educators, the realm of computer sciences department, but all departments. I'm still not sure how educators are getting these certificates. Where is this certificate from?
Sir, all the companies, including Microsoft, Google, NVIDIA, they are all upskilling the faculty members because they also understand the same problem. Because suppose the student goes to the industry, what they expected the student to do in 30 days, they are expecting him to do it in 3 days.
I hear the industry pushing you guys, but I was just wondering if the educators can be this helpful enough to tell us this is not being filmed from this side, at least from what I can see. Are you certified? Are you kind of already certified in some AI-related stuff, educators here? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Why is it taking so much time? You're kind of still looking whether we can get to your DigiLocker or something? Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for being so honest. I mean, this is what matters, that if we leave with even one takeaway each, we'll have like 5 or 6 coming in. So I now turn to my new friend on the left. So what do you think as an entrepreneur and a serial entrepreneur? What's the big opportunity that students and educators can have in your repertoire, so that they can ambush you and get some money out of you before you leave?
Yeah, no, firstly, thank you for having me here. I was overall really awed by the sheer size of the number of people who visited the AI Summit, and thanks to ILM for having me here. I'll start off with the bad news, right? I don't 100% agree with Manish. We were talking about it yesterday. I think AI will take away jobs. Case in point, none of the big tech companies are hiring. But that being said, I have 2 silver linings. One is specific to India and relevant to you folks. But before that, if you look at the idea of a job, there does not exist a job which is just a unilateral set of task, right? Every job has tons of tasks that go well beyond what is guardrailed by a job description. So when AI comes in, and when people talk about AI is going to take away jobs, it is going to take away tasks. The question for you is to figure out what is the one thing that you're exceptionally good at, and therein lies the point of adaptation. I'll give you an example. What are humans exceptionally good at? And people who exemplify this are leaders. Humans are exceptionally good at taking decisions in an indecisive environment. Leaders are exceptionally good at taking decisions in an indecisive environment and sticking with it, and being held accountable. If shit hits the fan, it's always the leaders who stand behind the decisions that they took. Now you bring this back to the realm of AI. AI is, it's a predictive machine that does a set of things, but humans are exceptionally good at taking decisions. And that's just one example, right? My colleague Karthik and I were talking about this culture. Humans are exceptionally good at developing culture, at permeating culture in an organization. The first 2 you hire become the next 4, who become the next 8. So if you're a startup, the leader sets the tone and the culture. So these are the things that you look at as a human being, that double click on the capabilities that you bring to the table and embrace AI that comes in and it serves the job of a co-pilot at best. So will AI take away jobs? Yes, it will. It will take away tasks. The goal for you is to figure out what is the one task that you're good at, double down, double click it, and perhaps build more on top of it. So that's one part of it. The second part is a little more India-centric, if you will. And I think there are 2 points that India is exceptionally good at, which the West cannot offer and has not led the way in. The first is India's capability on digital public infrastructure. If you look at UPI, today we transact about $10 billion a day, right? If you skim 1% on top of that, that's about $10 million that goes away to a MasterCard or a Visa or an American Express. India is the only country that said no to corporate capitalism and said, we will now create digital public infrastructure where consumers can transact within merchants and between themselves. Nobody makes money.
So let's bring it closer to AI in education. We have educators here. What message would this DPI or India's unique role in the global governance part, I'm not sure whether that would interest the audience as much as your take on what educators can take away from you.
The role that academia plays in trying to take away the asymmetry that AI has done is going to be the ethics of AI. You cannot expect corporates to build ethics around AI. Corporates and venture capital, case in point me, we are here to appease shareholders and shareholders only. Right? There exist 4 companies in the world who make all the money from democratized data.
So educators have shareholders as well. So let's not get there. What is it that will actually give educational institutions more sustenance? One, we heard the professor here.
I think the multimodal approach, right? If you're going to be an educational institution, you have to think of the modes that create an organization, right? If you take an MBA course or a BBA course, there are multiple SKUs that go into creating the realm of an organization creation. Corporates are not going to do it. Governments are all playing reactive role. So the role of academia is to look at how AI can be used in the realm of other courses that are non-technical in nature that goes towards building a venture or building a career. Right? That's the role that academia has played and should continue to play. The second part, I think, is community. Why would somebody go to university today? It's not just to learn, right? It's to build community. It's to have social interactions. I don't think that can get taken away. And I think those are the 2 key takeaways that universities and academia bring to the table.
Okay, good. So Pawan, you've been hearing very patiently, and thank you for that. Tell us, who is playing catch up with who? The law with AI or AI with law?
Both of them are in their own independent silos, not wanting to talk to each other, without realizing that they are all in the same boat. They will either swim or they will drown together. Bottom line is there are 4 things that I'm seeing which are imminent dangers from education and AI standpoint. Number 1, lack of any accountability of AI. Today, AI is not accountable. Today, you use any of these AI versions, there's no sense of transparency or an explainability or an accountability of any kind whatsoever. The law needs to come up. In that regard, in January, I've released the AI accountability framework, which is collating all the legal principles and doctrines which need to be kept in mind by lawmakers as they come up with laws on accountable AI. Education requires 100% accountability in AI. You cannot deal with the future of youngsters by having an irresponsible black box AI who says, I don't know, and I will not tell you how I come to a conclusion. That's one. Number 2, I believe that AI has begun to start causing harm to humans. And a big harm is being caused in the education sector, in the students sector. And nobody's talking about it. I've recently launched the Global AI Harms Registry, where we are saying AI is beginning to cause you 9 different categories of harms. Come and report, anonymously or otherwise, and let us know what these empirical evidence is so that we can come up with legal principles in that regard. So harm is coming in. The question is, how do we mitigate those harms? Again, the law and the legal frameworks will have to come in, and it will have to emanate from the government. Do not expect self-regulation to come up with any kind of accountability, because that train has already left the platform. So that's the second issue that I wanted to flag. The third bigger issue is, well, at the end of the day, this AI has started converting and is already transforming big chunk of Indian students into cognitive slaves. Indians have started walking towards cognitive colonialism, which means that we are ready to be cognitive slaves of big tech companies without any accountability. And it's time for the governments to try to protect the cognitive thinking capabilities and the neuro rights of citizens at large, and definitely of student population. Because now with everything on an AI or a chat GPT, your cognitive faculties are just not functioning. And if they are not functioning, you are rusting, which means that you will be irrelevant and redundant in the next few years.
Students here, do you agree you are cognitive slaves already? Anyone wants to raise their hands? Get this lawyer in trouble. Come on.
Oh, okay.
You think you're a cognitive slave? Claps for honesty, I say. No? Okay, sir, your fourth point.
And my fourth important point is the intellectual property rights issues will have to be dealt with very quickly. Today, everybody is generating everything through AI. Look at the terms and conditions. The terms and conditions tell you whatever you generate with your prompt command is your intellectual property rights, which means you are the owner of copyright. It's a very convenient way for the AIs to say, guys, I don't want to take legal liability. You are responsible. You will be legally liable for what you generate. But then that's a bigger question. Today, I generate my original article, and just for copying, or shall I say for justification purposes of grammar spell check, I run it through AI. It goes into the AI ecosystem database, and lo and behold, my original work is gone forever, because the system will always say that this is now AI generated and not generated by me. So at a time when things are not very, very clear, one thing is very clear. Recently, a US judge has said, when an LLM is using a copyrighted work for training its data set, training its LLMs, then that's not fair use. Which means that the law is purely moving in the direction of protection of intellectual property rights. But I think we require dedicated legal frameworks. We require appropriate clarity. We also require appropriate fair use for the purposes of academic and research, which today is not yet known. Also, since you are in the academic sector, you're all using education versions of AI. Do you ever realize where your data is ultimately going? Ultimately, are we not becoming guinea pigs at the laboratories of big tech companies where our data is being thrown out at massive discounts? A 399 rupees package today actually entails that world-class services come to you for 1 month, 30 days. What you do not see is that for the next 30 days, you are promised to give them unfiltered, complete, original content of yours for them to train for the rest of your lives. I think we require utmost clarity in these 4 elements as we move forward.
Okay, so cognitive... whatever, guinea pigs and slaves, and these are provocative notions. Before you put the mic and take it back and tell us, what is the level of literacy among lawyers and judges you meet on AI before you talk about them legislating on it?
Well, the level of literacy is relatively very, very low, to say the least.
Give us a number.
0.001% could be a good starting point to tell you of the number of lawyers who are at least sensitized to the legal issues. Yes, everybody is becoming a user. And now lawyers have become so much habituated with AI, they are drafting petitions, SLPs. Day before yesterday, the Supreme Court actually complained, the Chief Justice and 2 other judges complaining that lawyers are now using AI for generating SLPs, for generating fake citations of cases that don't exist, and more significantly, lawyers have started using AI on the go, on the fast. The judge is asking you a question, they're saying, my lord, hold on. They go to AI, or they also have now tools where the AI is saying, okay, hold on, give this answer. There's another product in town, which is to say, just put that on your ear, and it's listening live to what the judge is saying. So whatever query the judge says, it's telling you in your ears, this is the answer you have to give, and you give that. So obviously it's...
full marks for honesty, but it's also true that lawyers must be saying the same thing for the other side. I think we shudder for that day. We haven't had the professor and the academic here weigh in for too long now. So we have all of 23 minutes with 3 or 4 minutes which we've stolen because of a photograph.
Right, sir. Yeah. I just wanted to talk a little bit about opportunities, right? Because we've been talking a lot about the dark side, so to say, the dark side of AI, the Darth Vader of artificial intelligence. But there is an opportunity for everyone, but in particular the students who are pretty much at the cutting edge of what is happening at this point. Dario Amadoi, who is the CEO of Anthropic, Claude, you know, the LLM that most of us use, or many of us are using, he came out last year to say, I come from a family of venture capitalists. My daughter is a venture capitalist. My son-in-law is a VC as well. So Jay, right? So, and I hear this a lot from them. He came out last year, he stated that in 2026, there is a high likelihood of a one-person, $1 billion company. And that was something which was impossible to even imagine a couple of years back. And this is largely because of artificial intelligence. Cursor.ai, some of you who are into coding, and vibe coding in particular, I think it is worth at this point, correct me if I'm wrong, Jay, around $400 million, and the revenue per employee is upwards of $5 million, between 5 and 10. McKinsey, on the other hand, right, would be somewhere around 300 to 400. So you can see it's already 10 times or 15 times, right? So that is one of the biggest opportunities that you have, that, hey, you know, one of you here might become a billionaire. And that's what I tell my students, that if you do become a billionaire, you have to buy me a Porsche, all right? So that's so that's one part. The opportunities are humongous. But how you use artificial intelligence to your advantage is dependent on you. You know, you can listen to us. There are like multitudes of problems that all of us can go into, right? But the opportunities are infinite. So please make sure this is the best time to be a student, right? Because it's the democratization of knowledge. For many centuries, the way that all of us have been earning our living is through knowledge. The fact that I know something that Rohit doesn't, that he knows something I don't, and therefore I'm willing to pay him a lawyer, a doctor, or whoever. That knowledge is now being democratized. So use it to your advantage. And make sure, given all the things that you were talking about, the digital infrastructure that we have in this country, please make sure to leverage that to become that one-person billion-dollar. Even if it's a one-person billion-dollar company, I think that would be pretty good for us.
So pardon my journalistic play of words, but one person with 1 billion is pretty nice. We all want to believe that we'll be one of them. So far, all of us have failed on that, though. But having said that, there'll be 1 billion people with $1 left. There could be also that way. So we shouldn't be seduced by the notions of greed alone, but also realism. What are the skills, Professor Sabharwal, that educators here need to take away from this room? You told us about the pedagogical interruption or interjection or disruption you're doing across faculties. Anything else you wish to share? And be kind. Tell them.
I think the biggest skill is you need to unlearn and relearn. Because you keep unlearning what you learned and what you survived on till today. And you have to relearn the new technology. And mind you, just adding to what the professor said, India has a great demographic dividend also. For these models to develop and give you opportunities, there is no other country in the world like India, because these models are data hungry. And we have the most diverse population in this country. We have the most diverse demographics in this country. So any model, LLM or frugal LLM, you want to develop any application, this is a country that, and that is the reason that they are giving you free or for $3.99 or $2.99 or whatever. Just because they want these models to be developed by, from this population, because we are the most diverse. That is why students have the maximum opportunity. And as he said, the educators, you need to, unlearn, and you have to relearn and adapt. Because adaptability and relearnability, these are I think the two mantras that I can give you.
Good. So we have been given all of 5 minutes for audience interaction, which is quite a lot actually. But I'm going to be, aware that there are queries and thoughts and pushbacks that some of you smart folks have for the lawyer, the VC, and the best-selling author, and the professor at that, and of course the computer science jock. So if any one of you has compelling questions, this is the time to at least mark your thing in my radar, so that I can go back to you and you leave with greater satisfaction. Because one thing I learned from some of the classes recently I took to try and learn and unlearn and all of that, is that we only remember one thing, which is what we have said. So anything that they have said, you might forget. What you say here, you might remember. So go with something that's still fresh in your memory by saying it. So any show of hands, very welcome. Otherwise, we will go round and round to entertain you. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Yes. Fantastic. So that means we need more than 5 minutes for this. Okay, good. So please launch into a full-blown account of yourselves on the sidelines. This is the time to go specific on the question to the person. So name the person and your question. We'll really appreciate absence of comment.
Thank you, sir. I am Dipesh from Bhubaneswar, Shiksha Anusandhan University. My question is to Professor Ashish. Sir, as you know, my question is regarding education. So how do we make sure that AI technologies in schools and universities keep student data safe and private so that one data breach doesn't break all the trust people have in AI?
Done. So we're going to rotate questions so that you remember what everyone has said outside of just the panel. Sure. So Ashish bhai, just stay back. There were other hands this side and this side. We'll bunch like 3 or 4 questions and then maybe have a synergistic view. Got it, sir. Thank you from Odisha. I saw another hand right here, second row behind. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, hello, sir. Good evening. I'm Vijay Kumar. Sir, now India is planning to
Who are you directing the question? It will really help.
I'm faculty, sir. I'm faculty from.
नहीं किसको बोलना है आपको ये सवाल ये बता देंगे तो.
Professor, sir. Professor Munish Sabharwal, sir.
Sabharwal, sir. Okay.
Yeah. So India has got many number of IITs, NITs, many education institutions. Like just now you told, if the faculty is not updated, then there is a misbalance between student and the faculty. Can't we conduct some FDP, faculty development programs? Because now, as the AI is present, the student can be more prominent in the technology if the faculty doesn't get updated. So is there any possibility to conduct FDPs from different universities based on the areas, so that that will be easy to coordinate?
आप ILM से हैं?
नहीं सर, नहीं.
तो वहाँ आइए. Yeah.
Good evening. I am Dr. Himanshu Sharma from ILM University. I have a question from Dr. Pawan Dugal. I want to ask if any person sitting in America makes a cyber crime with a person sitting in India and uses the server placed in the Europe. So is there any international regulation on that? How to find such kind of cyber hackers? So what Indian government is doing for that?
Got it. Good. Thank you. That opens the game.
Hello, sir. My question to Professor Ashish. I'm Dr. A.K. Jain, a material science person. During my PhD time, 2000, there was a problem, millennium bug. Okay, just everything will destroy. People are worried about that thing. That's gone away. Then there is an era come from nanotechnology, where I did my research also. Then people say that this will be a lot of harming to the people and Allah will come, then settle down. So my question is that whether AI again is a big bubble for the market or something going on there?
Clearly you're not paying attention. I think despite that, if you think AI is a bubble, wonderful. I need more people like this in the room. I don't understand AI one bit. Okay, any others? Yeah, okay.
Thank you very much. I'm Vikrant Giri from ILM Gurugram. So I have a question from student side. So there are two kind of students, one from technical background and others from management background. I would like to ask this question from Jai Krishnan sir, or any other panel member can answer, that what is the skill set difference industry look for in a student is having a management background or technical background?
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. This side is completely, left of aisle. What is going on? Last chance, then we go to our speakers, because all of them have one question each already. Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir. Myself, Dr. Law Kumar Singh from ILM University Gurugram. So my very simple question, can AI tools enhance the student engagement and outcomes, or something else? There are different tools, AI tools available. So how can it really enhancing the student skills or outcomes?
आप फैकल्टी में है ना?
Yes.
स्टूडेंट से पूछिए, वो बता देगा.
My question from panelists.
Done, sir.
Thank you.
Any others? That's it. Okay, so we close shop for a minute, for several minutes now. We start with you, Professor.
So he asked me about FDP. yes, we are conducting FDPs regularly. So you be in touch, keep checking our website. We'll give you a lot of opportunities, because I said this is important. And if I am saying for my university, it applies to every university in India. And forget about what the IITs are doing, because one thing AI is doing, it's a level playing field now. It's a level playing field for both the students and the faculty, because what AI is doing is democratization now of technology. So just wait for few more time. There will not be too much difference. The gap is reducing every day. So keep following our ILM website.
Okay, this side. Jay, you had this question on what entrepreneurs are wanting to hear from you. You haven't still said what it will take to get your money.
Yeah, so in fact, the answer to the question is a great quote by Mark Andreessen, who's one of the greatest venture capitalists, right? He said the indication of the graduating class of a university is a good pointer to what is going to happen in the market. So if the number of graduates in the realm of management MBA is going to go up, there's probably a bubble looming. Whereas if the number of technical graduates is going to go up, then you're going to have hyper valuations. And I think that's spot on, right? But the answer to your question, it depends on what you want to do, right? If you are looking to build a venture and you want to appeal to people like me or other venture capitalists, be obsessed with the problem, right? And potentially, if you're a technologist, you're going to build a technical solution to solve that problem. So it doesn't really matter if you come from the management side or the technology side, but if you want to be building a venture, be obsessed with the problem, not with the solution. Don't be the hammer looking for a nail. On the other hand, if you're looking for, a job that's not to be an entrepreneur, then you double down on the degree that you have earned. Right? That would be my answer.
Could you say this again? This is very important. The part about the entrepreneur obsessing with whatever.
The problem.
Hammer and tongs? No, hammer and
the nail. Yeah. So most entrepreneurs, and significantly, a lot of entrepreneurs fail because they build a venture which produces a solution that the market does not want. Right? The true entrepreneurs who are really successful are obsessed not with the solution, but with the problem. If you're obsessed with the problem, you'll build a solution, does not work, build a solution again, does not work, build a solution, somebody does a pilot, build a solution, somebody will pay for it, and then you scale at some point, right? So you have to be obsessed, really obsessed with the problem to be a very successful entrepreneur. Don't be the hammer looking for a nail, meaning don't build a solution.
You should live long enough to tell the tale, right?
Yeah,
you can't go bust either.
Correct.
You don't run out of cash, as they taught me in business school.
Right.
Okay, Pawan sir, you are the most controversial amongst the panel. So, tell us something which gets you into trouble.
What gets me into trouble is the fact what I speak looks controversial now, but will be relevant tomorrow. So, your question, is there any international legal framework? There's none. There's a Budapest Convention or the Convention on Cybercrime of Council of Europe. India is not a signatory. So if your servers are in India, you get hacked, or you are the victim in India, there's no remedy there. Good news, the United Nations has now come up with a new convention, ICT convention, to prevent the misuse of ICT for criminal or illegal purposes. Came up for accession beginning October 2025. India is a very strong votary, but as it will take some time. But even that does not deal much with AI kind of crimes. Today, almost all cyber crimes are colored with or powered with AI. So we'll have to look at a legal framework at an international level so that there should be common minimum denominators of principles that are agreed. Unfortunately, that's not happening. 2015, while addressing the United Nations, I said the world required an international convention on cyber law and cyber security. Idea was too ahead of its times. Nobody bit the bullet. 2026, now they're beginning to look at ratification of the ICT convention. But now, that's history. Today, what you require is a global standard for AI crimes and its regulation. But that's not happening. Why? Because America is saying, sorry, I want no regulation. I want market forces to prevail. Here is India, Prime Minister Modi saying yesterday, well, we'll have to have a graded approach towards regulating AI. You have countries like China, a top-down approach on regulating AI. You have other countries like Japan, a more balanced kind of an approach. So I think we'll have to look at some international frameworks so that At the end of the day, AI is an existential threat to humanity. The quicker we start realizing it, the better it is. Already AI has begun to actually stop obeying human command. It's begun to start being rogue. And we have been failing till now so far to come up in place appropriate policy and legal safeguards, guardrails at the building process. And now with AGI coming in by the end of the year, in 2 years' time, super intelligence coming in, which will supersede the cumulative intelligence of humanity as a race, I think the fundamental issues are very clear. We are all becoming redundant. The important issues, how can we still have human in the loop? How can we still have the human control? And how can we still ensure that AI crimes can be minimized? Because why? Today the normal concepts of actus reus and mens rea are not applicable. Your intention or an action were supposed to be meant for humans. Now it's machines and algorithms which are creating or which are doing criminal activity. The other day in one of the conferences, I met somebody who said, I'm in the enterprise business. When I said, what? He said, cybercrime enterprise business. And I was surprised. I said, you are doing cybercrime prevention. He says, no, we are committing cybercrime. And we are using AI for that.
He must be teasing you. Come on.
No, he's not teasing me.
Don't scare everybody. This is a nice evening, and you're kind of whatever. But anyhow, Professor, we were woefully off topic. You know, we'll be given our dinner based on whether we say building future-ready learners and institutions. So help us synergize some of these ideas from your vantage point and tell us what are the future learners and institutions going to look like, so that those who are learners and those who are institution, faculty, take something away from this very rich and diverse discussion, which we're very grateful for.
I'll try my level best to do that, because there was a lot of stuff that we discussed here. I think to me, Jay's, what he highlighted was the importance of understanding problems. And, spending 90% of your time trying to understand the problems rather than trying to come up with a solution, whether it's a technical solution. Usually it's always a technical solution. The excitement around AI is that the technical solutions can be, to a certain degree or to a large extent, outsourced to AI. What cannot be outsourced is understanding the problem. And that's the role that the humanities and management students will play a lot, or professionals will play a lot. Right, and that's why it becomes even more so important. As an example, design thinking, Stanford D School design thinking course is considered to provide one of the most transformative experiences of all the courses, particularly in the exec CAD space, because of this reason. That one of the first things that they emphasize on is the importance of human beings and the human interactions. So from that standpoint, when we think about a curriculum in the future, it won't be computing science, so the faculties just can't exist anymore. It has to be multidisciplinary. It has to be where all these different faculties come together, right? We exist in tribes. We just love our tribe, and whether it is to do with a school, within a faculty, or a faculty within a university, but that ain't going to work in the future. So multidisciplinarity is going to become really important, understanding the problems from different stakeholders and how they approach it. Same as with curriculum. One of the things that a lot of, from a pedagogical standpoint, AI is being used for transformative learning experience. And transformative learning experience would be that it's through experience that you realize that the mental models that you have made up there are flaws to it. And how that, and then in some ways it's through reflection that you realize that. So the curriculum is going to change, the way the universities have to be organized has to change, we'll have to look for synergies rather than existing as tribes, and we have to work together. And that's no mean feat for any university, believe it or not, because the first thing that we do is that we worry about what is in it for me, my department, my school, rather than the good of the faculty and primarily the students and stakeholders. So that to me is the first one. The second one is how you can use we have a movement, AI for Good, where, particularly for the Global South, that we are using really very, so to say, inexpensive, cheap solutions for very complex problems, and we can do it at scale. Again, that was not something that we could do before. So the social aspect of, there are all these existential risks. I got a question about privacy. I mean, there's no doubt about it that that's going to be the big thing in the future. And if you look at Apple, one of the reasons someone asked me why Apple is still performing so well is because privacy is embedded in their design, right? I kind of know that when I use Apple, it protects me from that. So those would be, to me, some of the things in the future that what universities have to do. Are we there? Not really. But if we are not, then we certainly have an existential risk. And that is for the faculty. A computing science faculty has to learn a lot about management. Management faculty has to learn about the technical side of it. Doesn't mean that I'm going to be expert, because the democratization of knowledge has already happened. So yeah, that would be some of the things.
So thank you. In one word, one advice that you would like to leave the audience with, I'll go like this. Pawan sir, one word advice.
Be aware, be cyber resilient, be topical in this world when AI is beginning to make you redundant.
This was a long word, I said. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I just want to take a very philosophical view. This too shall pass.
After saying all that he did, he says, this too shall pass. And Pawan Dugal says, you are like whatever he said, guinea pigs and what have you. So we have a small difference of opinion. Okay.
2 words, resilience and adaptability.
You stole that word from Professor Sabharwal. He said adaptability. Okay, so there you go, sir.
So I think for the faculty, years down the line, we will become, rather than professors, facilitators. Because I think these universities will be places for socializing. Because most of the content we are teaching today will be taught through AR, VR headsets.
Thank you, guys. Aap hain to hum hai. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much for such insightful discussion. Today's discussion made one thing clear. AI is not replacing humans, but it is redefining what it means to be valuable. AI can take over routine tasks and boost productivity, but outsourcing thinking to machine risks weakening critical judgment. The real shift must happen in education, teaching students how to learn with AI, not fear with it. While AI will automate tasks, human remains uniquely strong in decision-making under uncertainty, accountability, and culture building. This is where leadership and ethics matter. India's strong digital public infrastructure given us a unique opportunity, but academia must lead by embedding AI ethics, interdisciplinary learning, and responsible use. This is what our speakers have told us today. So we are going with a lot of takeaway, and we faculty have a lot of work to do back home. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Full marks to Notebook LM. इन्होंने Notebook LM से निकाला.
Thank you so much. So I would request Dr. Monish Sabharwal to felicitate our guests. Sorry. Dr. Ashish Sinha.
They want to take a photograph.
They want to
show you to take it.
Yeah, okay. Documentary proof. Saraswati is a professor. No professor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Rohit Bansal.
Nobody there.
I request Dr. Shamik Tiwari to felicitate Mr. Pawan Dugal. I request Dr. Shamik Tiwari to felicitate Mr. Chair. thank you so much for this wonderful evening. We have framed photo frames for today's evening. I request Dr. Saurabh Trivedi to kindly provide those frames. So, please, sir. You can open that and it will be a good way to do that.
Yes.